Hey everybody, welcome back. So this is a follow-up to something I reported on earlier. Um, my contact finally got in touch with me uh, with a mostly finished investigation. It's not completely finished, but this is the first article written about the investigation. I talked about this before with the leader of a former, the supposed, the supposed leader of what was known as the Zadomski gang here in the Czech Republic, and now he is involved in the production of these FFP2 respirators, which here in the Czech Republic is the only respirator which is allowed. Okay, last month, the Czech government made it mandatory that this FFP2 respirator is the only one that you can wear if you go out in public to go shopping or ride public transportation or anything like that. You must wear one of these. Now, you don't necessarily have to buy from this particular company. There are others that are making these respirators. But it just seemed really suspicious to me and my contacts that this particular style is the only one acceptable. So we did some investigating, and here we have one of the articles. As I said before, this isn't final. We still have work to do, but this is what's going on. This is a fact. This guy is producing masks. We don't know yet if there's some kickbacks going on with government officials. We're still looking into that. Okay? So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. The former boss of the Back My gang makes respirators. It also supplies them to the Austrian army. You have to understand this is from Google Translate, so some of the words and expressions are just wrong in English, okay? Back My gang is the translation of this guy's last name, Zadomski, okay? Um, that's the name of his group that was known as the Zadomski gang in the Czech Republic. I believe this is him. So let's go down to this and let's check it out. Oh, also, by the way, keep in mind right here, we're going to get into some numbers later on. Right now, the Czech crown, the Czech koruna, is sitting at about 22 crowns for $1 and about 30 crowns for one British pound and 26 crowns for €1. Keep that in mind when we get into some of the math later on. It says here, at the beginning of the pandemic last year, the medical device business attracted the well-known Karlovy Vary businessman Milan Zadomski, who became famous as the head of the so-called Zadomski gang. Police initially accused the group of forcing businessmen to pay to provide, quote, protection. But a court acquitted most of its members in 2009. So, extortion. These guys were arrested for mafioso-like extortion. Okay? Like what you would expect from The Godfather or something like that, you know? This was supposedly happening back in the early 2000s here in the Czech Republic. So last year, Zadomski started production of masks and respirators in the premises of a former porcelain factory in Karlovy Vary. The name of his company is General Public. They have already supplied respirators for more than 20 million Czech crowns to the public sector in the Czech Republic since last September. They also supply the Austrian army and Bavarian police. So 3 different countries, because remember, Bavaria, this is in Germany. So Austria, Germany, and the Czech Republic, members of the Czech government, or government institutions, I should say, government institutions in the Czech Republic are all buying masks from this guy. When this situation arose last year, we saw a gap in the market. We bought a production line in China, put together a team of our own mechanics, and started production of certified masks and respirators, Zadomski told E15. His company, in cooperation with the Technical University of Liberec, participated in the development of its own filter substance and, in the summer, obtained certification in shortened management. Now, I did do some research very briefly on the Technical University of Liberec, and they actually are a quality university. They are ranked number, I believe, 751 in the QS World University Rankings, so not bad. They're one of the top 1,000 universities on the planet, so okay, it's not some piece of junk little university. About 60% of general public's customers come from the Czech Republic, but the company supplies respirators throughout Europe. Public sector contracts are only a minority of our revenues, said Zadamski. According to his company invested about 30 million Czech crowns in starting the business. He invested 30 million in to start the business, and as we saw, he's already made 20 million from the Czech Republic already. So he's already made 2/3 of his initial investment back. Now, we don't know what he's got from the other countries. We don't know how much his contract was worth for Austria or Germany. So he could have already have made his initial investment back by now. Who knows? He goes on to say, if it worked like this by the end of the year, that would be good. We need a few more months to be at zero. From a human point of view, we can wish that the pandemic was as short as possible. But from a business point of view, we want it to be as long as possible, says the businessman, yes, who was previously nicknamed the King by entrepreneurs in Karlovy Vary, and who, among other things, became famous for breeding his lion he called Brother. Um, if you remember from my previous video on this topic, he supposedly threatened to throw some people into the lion's cage if they didn't pay him up or pay him back. So, yeah. In the Czech Republic, the Zadomsky company has already supplied respirators to hospitals, police, firefighters, and the railway administration. In most cases, it wins contracts due to the low price and the fact that it produces respirators in the Czech Republic. At the beginning of March, for example, the Olomouc region ordered 200,000 FFP2 respirators for its fire brigade from General Public. They paid 2.1 million crowns for these masks. The supplier was selected because of the lowest price, delivery date, and the fact that they are respirators produced in the Czech Republic, said a spokeswoman for the Olomouc region. Zadomsky spent almost 3 years in custody after his indictment in 2007. He was never formally convicted. He walked. Although, as we saw earlier in this article, some of his guys did go to jail. They were found guilty, but he walked. Let that sink in. It's very much like any mafia movie that you'll see. There's always going to be a fall guy, right? So he's actually suing the government. He sued the government as compensation for non-material damage. He sued the government for 1.5 million crowns and won, apparently. From what I understand, he won this 1.5 million crowns from the Czech government. So they're still in this is a really bad translation, but basically it says he and the government are still in litigation. He is still trying to sue the government for about 63 million crowns because he was arrested and he lost lots of business in Karlovy Vary and was never convicted. Like, oh, you didn't have enough evidence. I did nothing wrong. Ha ha ha. So he's suing the state for 63 million crowns. So, yeah, wonderful. Here we have a list of some of the contracts that are going on right now with respirators. As you can see here, it says na respiratori. So that means respirator contracts going on. And the 3 red ones here, these are his company, General Public. Right there, right there. This one, Olomoucký Kraj. So the Olomouc region, the government, like in the US, we would call it the county. So Olomouc County paid him 2.1 million crowns. Right here, this is the head of the police department. The state police department paid 1.84 million crowns for some masks. And this right here, the Sprava Železnic Statní organizace. This is the state-owned railway company. 1,260,000 crowns. Just from 3 contracts, 3 government contracts. So the government passes a law mandating FFP2 masks are the or FFP2 respirators are the only thing we are allowed to wear in public. Doesn't matter if you're going shopping, it doesn't matter if you're at work, it does not matter if you're in the metro, none of that matters. You must wear an FFP2 respirator. And this guy, who was linked but never convicted, but was linked to illegal mafia-like activities, is making a small fortune off of the government buying these respirators from him. I'm really not happy that this is going on, that the government would pay, because you know they know who he is. At least in the Karlovy Vary region, they have to know who this guy is. They know why he was arrested, and yet they're paying him millions. It just, something doesn't sit right. So that's why myself, my contact, we are still doing some investigations to see what the hell's going on. Is there any link? Is there some kickback from this guy to any politicians? You know what I mean? It just sounds really strange. I don't like it. But I did think to myself, I would check out the actual website of this company, the General Public SRO. And here they are. This is their website, generalpublic.cz. In English, their products. This is their box, all right, for their FFP2 respirators. So here's their box of 10, boxes of 5 respirators, this kind of stuff. So if you're here in Europe, the Czech Republic, Germany, Austria, whatever, anywhere in Central to Eastern Europe, and you see this box, me personally, I wouldn't buy it. It's owned by a man who was arrested under suspicions of extortion and threatening to supposedly throw people in lion cages and assault, murder, threatening to do these kinds of things to people if they didn't pay him back money. Okay? Just my personal opinion, I wouldn't be buying this stuff. I think you probably shouldn't either. Okay? Just my personal opinion. All right. That about does it for today. Like I said before, we are going to keep looking into this to see if there are any kickbacks, any government ties with this particular guy. And not just this guy, but he stands out. Of all the companies we've looked into, he stands out the most as someone who there might be some kind of links with the government and might be some kind of corruption going on. So we will be continuing our investigation into this situation of these FFP2 respirators and what the hell's going on over here in the Czech Republic. So, thank you for watching. Until next time, I remain the Neo-Bohemian.